A village in Cusco, Peru has a unique Christmas tradition. It's called Takanakwe, which roughly translates to duking it out with fists. See, this village has a tradition of fighting in the ring to settle scores and resolve conflicts before the year's end. So, familial, romantic, territorial disputes, they all get settled in the ring Christmas Day. Fighters enter the ring, and typically fights are about 2 minutes. They end when a fighter bleeds, falls to the ground, or can no longer defend themselves. Refs called ronderos stand to the side, ready to step in if necessary, and the audience will cheer, sing, and dance. When the fight ends, opponents usually smile, shake hands, or hug it out. This story reminded me of the quote, "It's not what you say out of your mouth that determines your life, it's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power." This story reminded me of the quote, I interpret this quote to mean that what you whisper to yourself is what's important, and that can be as unique as you want. So today, I'm gonna tell you 3 stories about people who came up with unique solutions to solve their problems. First will be the friendliest war in history. Next will be the monkey busters, and finally, a slave who mailed himself north. The friendliest war in history has come to an end. See, about 50 years ago, Canada and Greenland, which, if you don't know, is a Danish territory, were renegotiating their borders. However, they ran into a dispute. See, they couldn't decide who would get a tiny island called Hans Islands, as both countries were 12 miles away from the island. The tension simmered for 11 years, until in 1984, Canada made their move. They went to the island, planted their flag, planted a bottle of Canadian whiskey, and a sign saying, "Welcome to Canada." Denmark could not let this go unretaliated. So they went to the island, removed Canada's flag, whiskey, and sign, and replaced it with their own flag and whiskey and their own sign saying, "Welcome to Denmark." This went on for about 50 years, this agree to disagree policy with these 2 countries essentially just trading whiskey. However, in June 2022, the war was finally put to an end, with both countries just agreeing to split the island. In this story, this war is unlike any war I've ever seen. Canada and Denmark decided to go about solving it in their own unique way. Who are you gonna call? Well, this Japanese village calls the Monkey Busters. See, for years, a Japanese province has had a problem of pilfering primates, breaking into their farms and stealing their crops. In fact, the problem got so persistent that the government created classes to teach locals how to fend off the monkeys. This prompted the action of 3 grandmas. They attended the class, and then, with their newfound knowledge, they dubbed themselves the Monkey Busters and spearheaded the effort against the apes. Now, whenever the village reports a monkey sighting, the Monkey Busters drop everything, grab their airsoft guns, and rush to the scene. They'll fire warning shots at the monkeys, and they'll often receive reinforcements from the villagers in the form of firecrackers and shouts. The Monkey Busters have done effective work, even causing the monkeys to disappear for a while, but they have been returning, so the Monkey Busters' work has only just begun. Next one. Henry Brown was a slave in the antebellum South. He was skilled and clever, but he lived a hard life. After his family was sold, he decided that was the last straw and it was time to make his escape. Using his meager savings and enlisting the help of a shopkeeping freeman he knew, Henry concocted a plan. He would mail himself north. He obtained a wooden box 3 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 2.5 feet deep. Then he punched 3 holes in it for air and nailed a sign to it saying, "This side up with care." Then, with a flask of water, some biscuits, and an awl to punch more holes if needed, Henry packaged himself in the box and made the 27-hour-long journey north. Throughout the journey, Henry was jostled and banged. At one point, the crate even flipped upside down, causing all of Henry's weight to go on his neck and head. Finally, he arrived in Philadelphia at the meeting place of the Anti-Slavery Society, where the members freed him from the box. He was exhausted but elated. So elated, he sang a psalm. Henry went on to become a magician and storyteller, retelling his story of escaping slavery. So today I told you about the friendliest war in history, the Monkey Busters, and a slave who mailed himself north. As these stories reminded me of the quote, "It's not what you say out of your mouth that determines your life, it's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power," as I interpret that to mean that your thoughts can be unique and they can determine your life. So I gave 3 stories demonstrating unique solutions to overcome adversity.